When you retire, you may get a chance to go to football heaven. This is football heaven.
Hello, guys, and welcome to The Mission. I'm your host, Jameer Howerton, and today we're bringing you today's show from the Pro Football Hall of Fame Today Gallery. And why it's so fitting that we're here in today's gallery, because this is the gallery where we get a chance to honor the heroes of today's game and celebrate their excellence, as well as promote the values and the history that they're breaking in today's game. So with it being National Women's Month, we are so honored to have the first of the first. Here on The Mission, we've been blessed to talk to numero unos, and today it's no different, because as you can see, I'm surrounded by some amazing artifacts. So without further ado, I would like to welcome the first woman official in the National Football League, Miss Sarah Thomas, to The Mission. Sarah, welcome to The Mission.
Thank you for having me. I love the display back there.
Oh, this is awesome. Now, before we get a chance to learn about you and your journey, Sarah, we have to talk about this display. This isn't on display yet. We just received it. Thank you for your donation, but it will be on display, but we have to talk about this. 2015, this was special to you, huh?
Very much so. That's when this journey with the NFL started.
What was it like putting on this baseball cap at that time?
Oh gosh, just being able to wear the shield on the cap, on my jersey, a little small patch on my pants. It's just being a part of that fraternity and being the little sis that they welcomed. It just it's changed the course of my life.
Well, we're going to get into all that of how you are a true trailblazers. And my daughter, she is so excited the fact that I get the opportunity to talk to you today. This has to be special right here. We're talking pioneer, Super Bowl attire.
Yeah, that to have that LV with the Lombardi trophy on your jersey, it's what every official, I would say, would aspire to do, just because, if you are granted the honor of working a Super Bowl, that means you ranked out number one in your position. And that's what we strive to do, is perfection. But having that and it just being a historical moment, now that I look back on it, a lot of meaning.
Wow. Now, Sarah, I have to ask about this right here. And I had to put the white gloves on because Celine Chowry tells us, all of our artifacts get the white glove treatment. But this right here, this is very special. If you can share and tell us about this artifact right here, Sarah.
Yes, that's Beth Bergman. She is battling cancer right now, and her husband is a huge mentor to me, Jeff Bergman, and you're going to get me choked up. But when she was diagnosed with cancer, he took a year off, of course, to be with his wife, and they made those bracelets. And I just told him, I said, will you please send me one? I will wear it every game this season. And I've worn it every game. And she had to be a part of it for Super Bowl Sunday.
Wow. And another historic game, we have this already on display, but this is a flip card where you got the chance to, and this is the NFL officiating down judge, Sarah Thomas, Cleveland Browns assistant coach, Callie Brownson, with the Washington football team assistant coach, Jennifer King. You guys made history on that day. Talk about how special this moment was for you.
It's just so surreal that you are out there, and I didn't set out to be a first. And I can tell you those ladies didn't set out to be a first, just like Jen Welter didn't. We just fell in love with what we're doing, and having someone out there that is a female on both sides of the field and me in the middle of the field, it's special. It's just, there's going to come a time in our lives that all these little girls are not going to have to ask, can girls do that? They'll just know they can.
Wow. You just got me choked up. You got me going. And right here to commemorate this historic event, Coach Brownson and Coach King and Sarah Thomas autographed this media flip card of the Cleveland Browns media and the Washington Football Club media flip card. And this is something that for people that may not know, this is the flip card that is given out when you're a part of the media, so you can see who all the team rosters. So this is on display right now, and all these artifacts will be on display soon. So we're urging people, please come visit us here at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. You can visit profootballhallofame.com for all your information. And while you're there, tickets are on sale for the 2020-2021 enshrinement, where we're going to have twice the fun in 21 and celebrate both classes this year right here in Canton, Ohio. Thank you so much for breaking down all of your artifacts and the rich history that's going to be on display here at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But let's go back to 1996. You know, we see all of this, and it's kind of like, Sarah, you know how like in certain movies, you see all the action of what happened beforehand, and then it's the big woo, rewind. So let's rewind and let's go through the journey. If you can please take us to the journey that got you to this point in your career.
Sure. 1996, boy, I didn't know that was going to change my life either. By being kicked out of a men's basketball league, and I was, for the first time since the age of 5, I didn't have a sport that I was involved with. And so just by a fluke, talking to my brother Lee, I asked him what he was doing one evening, and he said he was going to a football officials meeting. And I went, "Can girls do that?" And he said, "I guess so, sis. Just be there at 6 and don't be late." Well, I showed up, and he told me when right before we walked in, he said, "You're going to get some strange stares. These are a bunch of old men set in their ways." And it just wasn't uncommon for me to be the only girl. You know, I mean, I started playing basketball when I was in 5th grade in the boys' league because they didn't have a girls' league. But I walked in, and sure enough, the gentleman at the room just stopped talking to another official and just watched me walk across the room. And so to break the ice, I looked at him and I said, "Is this where you become a football official?" And I can't repeat what he said, but then he said, "I guess so." And I sat there having no idea about the game of football and thought, these guys actually get together and discuss rules and what if scenarios, and they're challenging each other. And as a former athlete, I hated the officials, and truth be told, they probably hated me, but my mindset may would have changed if I knew that behind the scenes, these guys really got together and did this. Then that competitive side of me, not knowing the game of football, it just was such a challenge to like get involved in this. And how can I get better at it and learn it? And so I spent 10 years in high school and then was thinking about giving it up.
Wow, that's amazing. You know, you mentioned that, and you actually truthfully broke through an all boys club, a strong foundation, a strong bond of men. Who were some of your mentors and your role models that helped you along the way, your support staff? Because I can only imagine how much that hurt.
Yeah, so I am blessed to have a father that's truly hard-nosed, a lot of grit, and just raised us with my mother just to, you know, hold yourself accountable. And when you walk into a room, just be confident when you do that. So I was never sheltered, or there was never any delicate gloves, if you will, like you're wearing or were wearing earlier. But, you know, the mentors that I had when I walked into that room, and moving forward, they're still mentors to me. George Nash, the very first gentleman that like said, "I guess so," welcomed me, but he did not sugarcoat anything with me. He did not look at me like a female. He looked at me as an official. And when he saw that I was really wanting to do this, he just picked me up. And then, of course, more of the guys accepted me. And Gerald Alston, that hired me in Conference USA, gosh, you know, he definitely changed the course of my life. And then there's several guys in Conference USA that are just like brothers, and I still talk to them on the daily. And of course, many in the NFL.
Wow, I know you accomplished a lot, but if you could talk about some of your proudest moments of being out there on the field.
Of course, the first game that I worked in the NFL, but you know, the first game that I worked in Pee Wee, it's just when you go out there, if I didn't fall in love with it at the lower level, I wouldn't be where I am today. Gerald Alston hiring me, my first game, I was quite anxious. I'll never forget, Chris Cockrell is a high school official and also he's in Conference USA, but his great uncle was Medgar Evers. And we were working the Memphis game and we're about to walk out of the tunnel, and he grabbed my hand and he said, do you know what you're about to do? And I just looked at him. I said, yeah, I'm going to work a football game. He said, you're so crazy, Sarah. And just that moment, and then all the cameras running up to you, and you're just like, what is the big deal? I'm just working a game. But just those few times, just, and of course the Super Bowl. Once it was over is when I could reflect back and it be one of my proudest moments. And the crew that I got to work with and the replays, I mean, it's just, yeah, that was a big moment.
What was that moment like when Patrick Mahomes shared that little note to you?
Yeah, it's just, that's how the guys are. They really are. They're very congratulatory. And they have mothers, and some of them may have daughters or nieces. And it's like that. I heard a saying the other day, and it's whenever people make ignorant statements about powerful women, the powerful women are not the ones that hear you, but your daughters, your wives, your nieces, they're the ones that hear you, and you're holding them back, not the powerful woman that you're talking about.
Absolutely. And Salim Chowdhury, who is our executive director here at the museum, but he's also the replay official. And he shared with me, gave me a little bit of brief education. So if you can explain to us, because I understand when you were promoted, they had to change the name of the position. Can you share that with us?
So forever, it's been called the head linesman, or as long as I know it, it was called the head linesman. Then when they changed my position to be politically correct, or should I say gender neutral, the down judge is just that. And so I guess they considered I wouldn't be a headlines man. And I don't know that they would have wanted to say headlines woman. So they just,
That's right.
It was a line judge on the other side and a down judge on my side.
Now, Sarah, I got to talk about the challenges, because you mentioned it earlier about how when you played ball and you played sports, you didn't like the officials. And it's like, I never really thought about this, but I was reading Tony Evans' book, and he talked about how there are three teams that take the field on Sunday. There is the home team, the away team, and then there are the officials. And when you think about it, in all of so much scrutiny at your position that comes with this job. I really want to talk about how do you deal with that pressure and the challenges of that? Because you know what? It's like you could drop a pass, or you can fumble, or you can, commit a foul, or whatever the case may be. But it seems like the officials always catch the brunt of everything. So if you could talk about the challenges and share with us some of those moments that you had over the course of your career where you're like, hey man, I'm just trying to do my job. This is the book of rules. We got to follow them, because that's really your job.
Yeah, you're spot on. There are three teams, and it does seem that a lot of the weight falls on our shoulders when there's a mishap. And I take it back to my playing days. I remember our coach, when we would complain about a call that was made, he would just say, don't ever let it come down to one call. Have a big enough lead to where it doesn't matter. And there are 165 to 185 plays in an NFL game. But the pressure and the critics, I just don't, me being a female, I'm not adding pressure to myself. The job itself has enough pressure already. And the people who matter to me are the guys that I get to work with every Sunday. And the critics that are tweeting out stuff or on social media, to me, just cowards behind a computer screen. Until you put the stripes on, you go do the job, then I think that you have a place to voice your opinion that matters. And again, I just want to go out there as every official and administer athletic justice and do our part. And if the guys come up to us and they express their views on a call that was made or not made, you listen to them, say, I didn't see it that way. And then we got to have short-term memory and move on to the next play.
Absolutely. It's got to be like a defensive back that gets beat by a wide receiver. You got to let that play go and move on to the next one.
Because if you don't, that ball's coming right back at you. I take it back to when I was playing softball or basketball. You miss the wide open layup. And if the next time you're going for the layup and you're thinking about that one, you're going to miss it again. So it's the same thing in the world of officiating. We know we may have missed one, but we've got to jump right back on it and get ready for the next play, because it's all new.
How did you deal with the challenges facing this year's season? with COVID and all the protocols and the forever changing of the schedule. Because I can only imagine, you guys are being a part of the officiating crew. Not saying you're creatures of habit, but you have your schedule and your plan as well.
I'm telling you, it was an adjustment. I mean, week to week, day to day, really. I just commend the rookies that came in this year, not to have had the mini camps, the meetings, the training camps preseason. And of course, for us, you could just tell those first few games, we're just trying to get back in the groove when we would have had those opportunities, on top of testing and praying that you're not detected. I think that's what we were told if we didn't test positive. And just not having the chemistry and the camaraderie and pregame meetings and dinner and our devotionals, and it just being over Zoom. And yes, the protocols, we're all thinking if we're there, we're negative. Why can't we get together? But it's just what we have to go through. And then when I got the call for Super Bowl, that Tuesday after the call, I didn't leave my house. And my sweet mom, she goes, well, surely if you got COVID, they would give you the Super Bowl next year. And I go, Mom, that's not how this works. So it was dodging COVID, getting to Tampa, praying that you don't. And I'll tell you a little insight. Sunday morning in the lobby, I was told that my test came back insignificant or something. I can't even remember. I went, what? And they said, all right, run it again or whatever. And so they said, no, she's not detected. But of all people, when I was told that, they were freaking out. And I was like, I'm glad you didn't tell me this before I came down to the lobby.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm glad you had that opportunity. And when you think of the goals moving forward in this realm of officiating, what do you hope to see?
I hope to see, just personally, that there are officials that are coming into officiating at a grassroots level, and the ones that are in college. The NFL looks at them and knows that they're capable. And when they come into the league, to be doing it for all the right reasons, just like we are. And the respect will come, and you just want to get better. And this coming season, I'm going to prepare for season 7, just like I did 6, just like I did 5, build off of my failures and try not to make those same mistakes that sometimes we do, but just capitalize on all the positives.
Sarah, I had to ask you this. What would it mean to you to one day see an all-female officiating crew on a Sunday afternoon? Better yet, prime time Sunday night.
You're going to see it. I'm telling you. I don't know if I'll still be on the field when it happens, but you'll see it one day. And I believe that more and more and more women are getting into officiating, and they aren't doing it for the recognition. And if you are, you just won't be here long. You've got to be doing it because you love it. And when you do that, the recognition will come.
And with that being said, what is your message when you get an opportunity to speak to young, inspiring young ladies that want to walk in your path? What is your message?
Do not go out to prove people wrong, because that list of people will never end. You will exhaust yourself. Prove to yourself that you belong. Look at yourself in the mirror first. And don't do it for the recognition. If you're setting out to be the first, whatever, in any field, you will do anything to get up that ladder of success. And I say, the toes you step on to get up that ladder of success will be the backside you will kiss on the way down, because you won't stay there long. But if you're doing something because you truly love it, the recognition will come, because people will see your work ethic, how you are dedicated to what you're doing, and it becomes infectious, and they want to be around that. And the people that you thought you had to prove wrong, they'll either fall by the wayside and you don't need them in your life anyway, or they'll start respecting you, and that's who you want to be around.
That's real. So with that being said, when you think of your lasting legacy, is that the message?
It's the message. That's right. And I want people to say, she did it the right way, and she did it with dignity and integrity, and she did a great job.
Do you pinch yourself sometimes? I know you said earlier, you wasn't trying to set out to be the first of the first, but when you're the first one to do it, the pioneer, that trailblazer, sometimes you sit back and go, wow.
I really don't. I don't think that if I ever do that, that means I'm becoming bigger than myself. And I'm just not that type of person. And I have kids, 3 amazing kids that are walking a journey themselves. And I just had a discussion with both of my boys because they're outstanding baseball players. And it just unnerves me when people say, well, where are you going? Or do you have any people looking at you? And I just tell them, what his mom said, you be the best ball player that you can be right now and love it. And everything else will just take care of itself.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sarah Thomas right here on The Mission.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
love Salim. You're amazing. And just to have anything of mine in Canton, that's amazing. Thank you all.